led by their teacher and mentor, Stan Hunter. Stan has been the teacher mentor of this groups for the last 16 years since their inception. And they have an alumni of 120 people. Stan brought the following students out with him this morning. Sorry, Chris, I hope I don't wreck your name here too badly. Chris Musakatis. Chris is a grade 11 student who worked on the robot build, wiring, and was a technician for the team this year. Emily Kotokyak, sorry, Emily, grade 11 student who did some robot build as well as scouting and chairman preparation. Ian Morris, grade 11 student who presented the chairmans as well as led the home scouting team. The team brought home their 50th blue banner this season. I'm sure Stan's going to tell us and the kids are going to tell us what the blue banner means. Winning the Ontario Championship and traveled to Houston, the Houston World Championships with 450 teams from around the world. Team 2056 was selected 3rd overall in the touring division and lost in the semifinals of the division. A great run for a very difficult year. Please help me welcome Stan, Chris, Emily, and Morris this morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Doug.
Welcome, Stan.
We have Paul showing off various things there in the background. I'm not sure he has permission to show our robot, but I guess I gave him a plaque so he can do whatever he wants with it. I'm going to not spend too much time talking. I'm going to let the 3 kids behind me share a bit of their experience and what their experience has been over the last couple of years with COVID and the struggles of this year, and then what they're looking forward to for next year. So I'm just going to pass it over to them, and I'm going to focus the camera a bit on them, and hopefully let us know if you can't hear them. They're sitting back a little bit. So start.
Just going.
Yeah.
Well, hello. I'm Ian. Is Emily?
Sorry.
Okay. So I'm Ian. I'm a grade 11. It's my 3rd year on the team. I guess I should just jump into it. Grade 9 year was hectic. It was very, very hectic, but it was still a lot of fun. Sadly, we weren't able to make it 2-hour competitions that year, which does suck quite a bit, but we still had a lot of fun. We still built a robot. That was it was a good time. I was doing chairmans that year too. I was writing, our essays and presenting all that stuff. So yeah, that was kind of my grade 9 year. It was still a lot of fun despite what happened. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm Chris, and I joined robotics in grade 9. I had an older sister on the team, and I'm really glad I did join because it's been amazing so far. In grade 9, I got to help a bit with the robot build, but again, as Ian said, we didn't get to compete, so that was very sad. But then this year, with having 2 years pass without competitions and all of the people who knew everything graduate, the older students like the 12s and 11s really had to step up, and we got to do a lot more this year. So I was very heavily involved with the building of the robot, and then I was fortunate enough to be a part of the drive team, where at competitions I helped repair the robot and bring it out for it to compete, where our drivers did incredible. And yeah, and next year looking forward to some more of that.
So I'm Emily, and I've been on the team for 3 years as well. My first year, I was mainly working on Sherman's with Ian, just kind of helping him out when he needed help. And I wasn't really involved with the building of the robot, but this year I spent more time with Chris, helping out there. So I'm excited to do that again next year.
So yeah, COVID was quite an experience. We had a lot of our meetings online, or almost every single meeting online for all of kind of last year's school year. We did our training program for everything. So we had some of our veteran students, we had presentations for some of the newer kids to explain things like website design, programming, a few other things. And then we would give out certificates to all the kids who completed all of these kind of courses a little bit. It was kind of little one-day workshops, I think they were. Yeah, they were workshops. So we did our training program online. We had our 2056 Ways to Inspire conference online. We had a few other things. It was a lot of fun, given that it was online, but it obviously would have been better to be in person. But for our situation, I think we definitely made the most out of it for sure. And of course, leading into this year, we were prepared. We were good to go. We knew what we were doing. Of course, there was still a lot of uncertainties when it came to whether we were even going to compete or even come into our school. But we did, and we're very thankful for it. So, yeah, I don't know. This
year we didn't start building our robot until a month within the season, where we were just designing it online at home for like as long as we couldn't be in the school. And so we were very behind starting, but we were able to catch up, luckily. And after our first competition, we did realize there was a lot of changes that needed to be made, but we were able to improve our robot and do well moving forward.
Yeah. One sec. Sorry. Yeah, this year it was difficult. I mainly did scouting and stuff, so it's just kind of like scouting a hockey player. You're scouting teams at competitions to make sure that they're doing the correct things, you're doing the correct things. And of course, for half of our competitions, we weren't able to even be there, so we had to figure everything out online. And then, as much as we were in school, there was still a lot of online participation that had to be done. And that was thanks to a lot of our grade 9s and 10s. We're very thankful to have we're experienced team members, but we're very happy to have a lot of experienced grade 9s and 10s as well. We have a grade 9 currently working on working with AutoCAD and everything like that. So he's just helping us design come up with future designs and everything like that. And he's in grade 9, which is absolutely amazing. We had a grade 10 this year, create a whole web app for scouting. So, it was an HTML, just kind of HTML CSS web page that you click buttons on, and then it would pump out some data, and then we'd process that ourselves. So yeah, we're really lucky to have a really good team this year to kind of pick up where we left off back in 2019, 2020. So yeah, I think that was a lot. Next year we're hoping to go to more competitions, I think. Yeah, I know we didn't make it to too many this year.
Yeah, and World Championship is in Houston again, so hopefully we can have even more students go this time, because we only had like 10 people this year. So
Can I explain the online
Sure.
scouting?
Go for it.
So I just want to kind of give you a perspective of what the kids were doing while we were in Houston. We had 10 students in Houston, and the rest were back at the school keeping track of every match. So there's a match every 5 or 7 minutes throughout the Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. And so the students were back at OP with a big screen and a number of tablets and computers, and they were watching every match and recording the data into a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet was live, so we could see the data down in Houston. And then our coach was also online with people from the school. We had a mentor that was in London, England on the phone, and a mentor that was in Toronto on the phone. And so they were communicating back and forth the strategy for every match, and then the strategy for the picking that happens in going into the playoffs. And so the kids back at the school were a phenomenal cog in the wheel for being able to do what we did in Houston. And it would have been, as they said, wonderful to have them in Houston in the stands doing that, but it wasn't possible. So we did the best of it, and they were amazing at being able to pivot. Pivot was probably our key word this year, was being able to pivot in so many different ways, being restricted by the number of people we could have at an event, and all the regulations and rules that were part of being in the school. Somebody asked about the blue banners. So when we win an event, you receive a blue banner. There's a few other awards, chairman's awards. We've won the chairman's. We've had chairman's presentations at Rotary before. We've done that, and maybe in the future we'll do that again. And that's all the things we do outside of building a robot. So the things we do in the community. And so we've won that 6 times, I believe. So that's 6 blue banners, and then all the events that we win. And so that over the 16 years we've been competing, 50 blue banners is, I think, 3rd in the world. I think there are 2 other teams that are above us. And those teams have been around for significantly more years than we have. So that's been amazing. And Doug also mentioned 120 alumni. I was going through our alumni list a couple weeks ago, and it was fascinating to remember and think about all those students that have come through and experienced what robotics is. And maybe these 3 can share a little bit about what they're looking at into the future after Orchard Park, and then maybe if you have some questions, we can have answer some of those. I'm going to go look after my class for a few minutes.
Yeah, robotics has definitely inspired me for what I want to do after high school. And I've been to a couple women in STEM workshops too, and I definitely want to go into something with electronics or engineering, maybe at McMaster, or also looking at Niagara College to do a co-op. But I definitely want to do something with electronics and circuits. I've really learned a lot from robotics, and it's been great, and I want to continue that after high school.
Yeah, after high school, there's something super set in stone for me. I've heard a few kind of programs here and there. My brother has mentioned kind of something in genetics at the University of Guelph. I really enjoyed my biology courses, so I'm thinking like, oh, genetics, that's pretty cool. Or maybe something related to, or very related, or very timely, being like kind of viruses and all that, kind of how they spread and everything like that. I guess epidemiology, kind of something like that. So that's kind of, so definitely something in the sciences, and robotics has definitely brought that out. So that's kind of my general area that I'm looking for sure.
I guess I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do yet. I've been looking into going to British Columbia to study ancient history, but after doing robotics, I've also been considering going to Mohawk to become an electrician. So, yeah.
Yeah, and next year we'll definitely, like next year on the robotics team, we'll definitely bring that out a lot more. Because this year it was a full year, but next year will be our full, actual year. Well, we'll be in the school for the whole 2-3 months that we're building the robot and everything. So I think I'm really looking forward to that.
Our first real year.
Our
basically.
first real full year. So like really looking forward to that. And yeah. So if you guys have any questions, fire away. We'll try and answer them to the best of our abilities, hopefully.
Did you guys actually say what your accomplishments were on the field this year?
We like in terms of like the robotic, like what the actual robot has done. Yeah. So our first competition, we went to the University of Waterloo. We made it to the semifinals there. That was a very, very competitive event. We've had a team come from California before just to Waterloo because it's that competitive. So we made it to semifinals there with teams 610 and 4069, I think. So yeah, that was a good event. As Chris said earlier, it was kind of an eye opener. We had to fix some things up after that for sure. But so we made the semifinals then. Our next event was at St. Mary's High School in replacement for McMaster University. We placed first there. We made it to our finals. And we won that event, got our blue banner. I think we got the creativity award there, which is really, really cool. I don't know if you guys want to go ahead for Ontario.
For the Ontario Championship in Mississauga, we got first place with 11, 14, and 40.
45, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that got us our ticket to go to Houston, where, as mentioned earlier, we lost in the semifinals of our division. But it was a really good run considering what happened this year and how hard we had to work in order to make it there.
I think back to our 2019 season, we made it to about the same spot that we made it to this year. We made it to the semifinals within our subdivision. So really happy with what we pulled out this year, given our circumstances.
Yeah, a lot of people might not know, but the teams down in the United States had no restrictions when it came to build season. So all the teams in Ontario pretty much were a month behind the US teams.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Congratulations, first of all. It's great. Do you guys break for the summer or do you continue talking to each other and how to
Yeah.
get the fall?
For the most part, we break because there's no new game to learn and robot to build. But we do have an event in July. It's in Indianapolis. It's called IRI, and it's a lot of teams it's an invitation event where we're invited and get to compete again, and it'll just be over one weekend, and then we are done until the fall.
Oh, great. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A question. I'm just curious, do you have any kind of academic credit given to you for the work that you're doing and
Not
Like high
literally,
school credit.
not a high school credit, but we're very aware that like a lot of future employers and everything will be looking for maybe not our team specifically, but for robotics and that those types of programs within or extracurriculars within secondary schools. They look for FIRST as something to look out for when they're looking for like an engineering student or something like that.
Yeah. And even all of the grade 12s graduating this year from our team are going into STEM programs in post-secondary, which is really cool to see.
well, good luck to all of you. It's fascinating what you're doing. It's interesting.
Yeah,
Guys,
you didn't mention that Stan wasn't even at the district champs because he had been caught the COVID. So you guys won district champs without your lead mentor.
Yeah, we were missing for the majority of the days our lead mentor Tyler Holtzman, and then Mr. Hunter was gone for a couple days, but we had some really great alumni who stepped up and filled in their roles, one of which was my older sister, and they really helped us that weekend, and it went just as smooth as any other event. So being on the team really shapes our mentors to be capable, and yeah, they really knew what they were doing.
Hey guys, first off, you guys look fantastic with your team jerseys on there, and congratulations to your amazing accomplishments this year. A couple of you had a chairman's role. What type of skills did you learn and get to practice as a chairman?
So it's kind of like it's a group of three kind of presenters. So it's not like a certain like one kind of person. The main skills are very far for what you would do on a robot. It's mainly kind of English and presenting and kind of oral communication and all of that. So you have to be able to, kind of a bit of, marketing of the team. You have to know what we've done and piece it all together in a kind of presentable format, and then actually present it yourself. Emily helped with writing and everything, which was really, really amazing. She did really, really well. And then we have our presenter kind of side of everything. So it's kind of not exactly the farthest thing you can get from robotics, but it's something you wouldn't really expect, because a lot of students are like, oh, I really have a spot on robotics because it's all, it's just the robot stuff, but there's a lot of other stuff. We make button designs. That's art. We have our chairman's, which is English. It's a full kind of academic.
That's awesome. Those are great soft skills you're going to need moving into the future and post-secondary in your careers. So that's awesome.
I have to ask the question, and I'm sorry, gentlemen. Ladies, are you like anomalies, or are there lots of women involved in this?
There are not a lot of
Yeah,
women on
there's
the
not
team.
many. I think this year there
were like
was
5
4,
or 6.
or yeah, maybe like 5. And we surprisingly, well, I don't know about surprisingly, but we do definitely have our spot on the team. Do a lot, and 2 women were actually on the drive team this year, myself and our operator. And yeah, there may not be many of us, but like we work hard to and yeah.
I wasn't questioning your capabilities. I was just,
Yeah.
in my world, when I was younger, only men would be doing this. And it's quite pleasant to see more women than men. Sorry. But I just wondered if overall there was just a small group of women, or was it sort of a normal split now, like 50-50 kind of thing, or?
In past years, it's been
A little bit more.
there's been a bit more of an even split for sure. This year, the small group that we do have, you guys are very, very vocal. You guys are very really amazing. I'm really happy to see it. So.
Overall, though, everyone seems to be accepting. Like, we don't really have like a
Oh yeah.
gender split where it's like we get pushed to the side. Everyone seems to want to like include everyone. So
Good. Thank you. And again, I was certainly not questioning the ability or capability. I was just curious as to the sort of general culture. Was it in any way split or not split? That's all. No question about the capabilities.
Paul, I see your comment about FIRST. I'm just reading it now. Works very hard to make women in STEM a main component. So have they had some sort of specialized program for women, or it's just general?
Especially FIRST Canada works, they run workshops for women in STEM. They were doing it virtually over the last couple of years. And then some of their sponsors actually host days where the girls on the team or the females on the team can, and it's only set up for the females to go, and they have conferences.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And most of the, I noticed a lot of the teams in Canada, it's a pretty even split when you look at it. There's a few teams that aren't. One of them is actually a boys collegiate, so there's no opportunity to have girls on the team. But down in the States, I notice it's not so split. But in Canada, I see a lot of the teams are about 50-50.
Good. Any other questions for the team?
Are you guys going to try Swerve?
Yes, actually, we're gonna be prototyping in the fall, but we're still not sure about next season. We'll have to make a big decision.
Our team just bought the components and they built a chassis on Tuesday and started installing it so they could try it.
They have the product in hand?
Oh, yes.
Because there's a big delay on some of the module there, so.
Myself and one of the fathers volunteered to pay for it. They haven't sent us a bill yet, but they had the Swerve drives in hand.
Nice. So for those people that don't understand what Swerve drive means, robots have changed over the years as things have evolved and components, and so you can build a robot that can drive in any direction. The wheels pivot, and you're motorizing each wheel, so you can drive sideways, you can drive on an angle, and that's what's called Swerve, and that's a interesting way to play a game. It depends a lot on the game, but I think 21 of the 24 teams that were on Einstein this year were a particular module of Swerve. So it's changed the way people build robots.
Brendan actually designed a cheap version and put it on GrabCAD, and a team in Hawaii made it over the summer last year.
Great. Okay, Rob, did you have a question or a comment? And you're muted. You're muted, Rob.
Sorry, I just remember when I went to St. Louis, there was all women's team. Do they still exist?
I think so. If you're referring to a team from Windsor, the Amazon Warriors, yeah, they still played this year and they did really well at the Ontario events. Yeah.
One thing, as I was thinking of, we are so very grateful for the financial backing it has been for our team over the years. And then even for the extra, I got an email saying, hey, we can support you going to Houston. And within, I don't know, less than 24 hours, I had the check in hand and was able to pay for the truck and trailer pulling the robot down to Houston. So we are very thankful for that support and for the ongoing support of the Rotary in Stoney Creek, Hamilton. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank
Yeah.
you. This season, definitely we needed the help, and we were able to do so much from the help of like sponsors, and yeah.
Yeah, you guys are a big part of it. So being able to do this is an experience in itself. So it's really nice. So yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome. There was no hesitation when we heard that the opportunity was there for you to get down to Houston. We needed the team to be there. So if there are no more questions, Rick, are you up for the official thank you? Great.
Hopefully I'm not on mute.
No, you're
hear
not.
me?
We can
Good.
hear you.
Emily, Ian, Chris, and Stan, who I think is off screen. Thanks for speaking to our club this morning. It appears that you've adapted to the I guess the effects of COVID. The many challenges it offered, like the late start, I guess working online, a 2-year loss of talent, experience. Geez, even a missing mentor. It appears that you guys have your teams come together and just met the challenge. And most important, just listening to you, all three of you seem to be inspired, which is really good. I'm personally happy that you're finding your way, not only into STEM, but it looks like you've laid out a path for yourselves. From listening to our club members, you can hear that our club's happy to support your robotics team. I wish to give you, I guess, best wishes for the future. May your team win many more banners. So on behalf of the club, thank you for speaking to our club this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great. Thank you for